Okay, this is a trigger warning, but this is the darkest story in the entire Bible, and no one talks about it. She had no name, she had no voice. But her body was chopped up into 12 pieces and sent across the entire 12 tribes of Judah. What? Okay, I'm talking about Judges 19. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. So, long story short, boyfriend, girlfriend, but more than boyfriend, girlfriend. She had no name, and the man doesn't even have a name. He's just known as a Levite man. So a Levite man goes to get his concubine because they had their tiff back and forth or whatever, and she says she leaves him, goes back to her father's house. Then the Levite man says, "I'm gonna go get my concubine." So then he goes and gets her, and then something happened. They made up, whatever. And then they're traveling to Jerusalem. And when they go to Jerusalem, or on their way to Jerusalem, night almost fall. And they're like, we're not safe staying in these towns or these towns. Let's go to Jabesh or something like that, which is close to Jerusalem, because that's where he is. Like, he's a Levite man. He's one of the 12 tribes of, the 12 tribes of Judah. And where they stay is in the safety of the tribe of Benjamin. But instead, what happened is that night they didn't have a place to stay. They stayed in the town square. And then an old man says, it's not safe for you guys to stay here in the town square. So why don't you just come back to my house? So then they go back to the man's house. And then the town drunkards come in and they knock on the old man's house and says, give me that Levite man. We want to essay him and do bad things, like, essay him. And then the old man says, no, have his concubine instead. So I have questions on, like, why did the Levite man not defend or keep his concubine? Or it could be the cultural background of back then, when you stay in people's houses, men stay in one room, women stay in another room. I'm not sure. But either way, the old man shoves the concubine out, and then she gets essayed all night and dies on the porch by morning. And what the Levite man did was, instead of giving her a proper burial or anything like that, he chops her up in 12 pieces and sends all her entire body parts to the 12 tribes of Judah to say, this is a heinous crime. What are we going to do about it? Because that's a disgrace. One, that type of evil did not exist, but clearly it does today, because you turn on TV, free crime TVs everywhere. I mean, look at y'all. Y'all are on TikTok. There's crime TV everywhere. There's crime readers rereading the stories everywhere. Anyway, so what happened was the nations come together in an uproar of a civil war, and the Levite man said, what are we going to do about this? So then the 11 tribes of Judah said, well, we're not going back to our hometown until there's justice that's served here. So then they go to the town and they say, forfeit these men that, essayed this woman to death and did this crime. And instead the town turns on the entire tribe and says, no, we're going to fight you instead. And do y'all know that the Bible, the Old Testament, is literally the original HBO Max? Like, it is so, what? I have so many questions. I'm sorry, this is a trigger warning. It's still happening today. And, like, if you've ever asked, where was God when this happened? This wrecked me because God was not present. In those days when Israel did not have a judge, people just did what they thought was right in their own eyes. And does that not sound true today? It sounds true today. And I'm just like, my jaw's on the floor, y'all. Please start reading chapter 19. Please leave comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Let's talk about this. If you want to talk about this. I'm sorry, this was a trigger warning. I'm perplexed. Like, I'm so perplexed. Like, people gave up God. The entire book of Judges is just so, like, oh my gosh. Like, you read the book of Judges and it's like, and they had peace for 7 years, and then for 40 years, and for 12 years, and 10 years. And those interim pieces without a judge, like, the sin got darker and darker and darker. And oh my goodness. First off, we are in the end times. Why? Because Jesus went to heaven. He's seated at the right hand of God the Father. Like, he's seated at the throne. He's going to come back. So, yeah. So, like, until Jesus comes back, these are end times. Not sorry for saying that. So, that's been like that for 2,000 years. But read your Bible, y'all. Y'all read your Bible. Okay, I don't know what else to say because, oh my gosh, I'm still processing Judges 19. I'm probably going to have to reread it again and go from there. All right, bye.